How important is their offer?
Offer is everything. And it all goes back to, what do you do that's different from everybody else, even if it's just a spin or a twist or a tweak? And once you have that, that's what you lead with. You're a unique identifier. So once people know what makes you different and that what you're offering to them is different, you can just load it up with value and make it really easy for them to say yes.
Hi, and welcome to Speaker Life. I am Leah Woodford, your host, and with me today is a good friend of mine, but also an amazing sales expert and speaker, Delaine Blazek. Hey, Delaine, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
So Delaine has an interesting background, one that I love, and I'm excited to share with you because she's a she specializes in teaching people to sell. But she has a degree in psychology. Let's unpack that a little bit.
Sure thing. So sales is very relationship oriented, right? So psychology is a great tool for those transferable skills, and it's definitely been a journey. But still, one of the most fascinating things for me is the human behavior side of psychology of selling and just getting to know people and finding out what's really going to motivate them to take action.
So what do you think is the biggest problem, not just speakers, but let's say coaches or even entrepreneurs? What do you think holds them back? Because you say sales and they cringe.
That's so true. I think it is confidence related to articulating their message. Once they have the clarity, that is really the engine that needs the fuel to drive their passion forward and deliver their message. So once they have the confidence, they know what they're doing, then they can talk about it a lot easier. They can get out there and not be afraid of saying the wrong word because they know what their message is.
True. Clarity is everything, isn't it?
Clarity is everything.
So what should a new speaker do to get out there? You know, just to prospect. How do you get on stages? What do you do?
I think it's a very simple process, but it's really been convoluted over time, which is get in front of the person that needs what you have to offer the most, offer it to them, and then be quiet. Give them a chance to ask questions, to share any concerns they have, and then talk them through the journey of moving towards your platform.
You just said something really powerful right there. Shut up.
Yes.
How many times have we, myself included, talked ourselves out of a sale because we're nervous and we chatter and we should just close?
Yes, exactly. When you give them the space to think about, what did you just say? There's going to be a ton of thoughts racing in their brain, whether it's, I didn't understand what she said about this, or I really don't know if the value's there, or I need a little bit more explanation there. And people are always fearing the objections. But the objections are really just the way that the prospect can communicate to you, this is what's holding me back, and you need to clarify this a little bit for me here. You haven't demonstrated the highest value to make it as easy as it should be for me to move forward.
Wow, good point. So how important is their offer?
Offer is everything. And it all goes back to, what do you do that's different from everybody else, even if it's just a spin or a twist or a tweak? And once you have that, that's what you lead with. You're a unique identifier. So once people know what makes you different and that what you're offering to them is different, you can just load it up with value and make it really easy for them to say yes.
Can you give us an example?
I can. One of the most common, I would say, for speakers, coaches, consultants is getting together just a proposal for something that someone may want. It could be a very non-tangible item, but they have to get to a place where they're mastering the art of bundling. So once you have your core offer, then there's the concept, obviously, of the upsell and then the downsell. But the core offer is really what's going to speak to that buyer, and it's their biggest pain point, their biggest issue and problem. So I think once you get that down, then everything else is easy.
So how often do you see people chasing the wrong target demographic?
All day, every day.
So how do you find your target demographic?
You know, that's not without some research, right? Mm-hmm. And it also comes back to, what are you most passionate about? What point and what person in their journey would you like to help? And that helps curate a little bit as far as who your ideal target is. And then a host of market research, geography, gender, age, types of products that they use, types of software that they buy. All of this can start creating your ideal customer.
Wonderful. So Delaine, I had to bring this up. I love this. Power your pay. So let's talk about this. That's a big name. It's a great title, and it feels very intentional. Can we talk about that?
We can talk about that. So as you know, I was in sales and technology for many years, and what I realized finally was that a lot of the sales trainings that we've been taught over the years really were not as applicable to women and relationship-based sales as they should be. So I curated this process over about 10 years with various sales teams that I led, and it worked, and it worked better than all of the other ones put together that I'd used in the past. So I realized it was time to document it, and it was really time to help women learn how to sell and not be afraid of that. So a lot of that comes back to mindset, confidence, just basic steps of being able to identify the right prospect, give a proper presentation, curate a proposal, and then, of course, handle the objections and close at the end.
Absolutely. How important is mindset?
Huge. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased because of my background, but mindset is everything. You have an intention, you're more likely to achieve that goal. So that's been proven time and time again. It's like Psychology 101. If you know what you're doing, kind of bleeds back into the clarity of, I can do it so much better because I know exactly what I'm doing. I can see the path ahead of me. So I think that is extremely important with mindset. And then just reframing any negative automatic thoughts that we have from our core belief systems. It's a little academic, but basically, anytime you hear in your brain, I can't, I shouldn't, or I'm not, usually that is a negative automatic thought that will come in.
Wow. One quick question.
Yes.
Where can people work with you? And you have a retreat coming up. Can we talk about that?
Yes, we do.
That's right, we do.
Surprise. Colorado, June 22-23. Lee and I will both be co-hosting an amazing retreat in Colorado Springs.
I am so excited.
It's going to be awesome. It is the big, bold breakthrough experience for women in business. So we're going to be doing a lot of mindset coupled with immersive events and also exercises so that they can do the work when they're there. When we were talking about it, we said, you know what, so many times we'll go to conferences, we'll get some really great ideas, and then we'll leave, we'll put it in the filing cabinet and say, when I get a little bit more time, I'll go back and work on this.
It never happens.
Never happens. So you're doing the work there, but we've also built in some wonderful opportunities for rejuvenation.
And I like that. And there's something about the immersive experience too. I mean, I think you make it an experience, it kind of anchors the teachings, but people love it, they share it, and you can get more stuff done if you have all these accountability people right there.
Yes.
Doing it together.
Doing it together in a beautiful environment. And also you have the branding right there for you. You've got the exercise right there for you. You've got the sales and branding combined right there for you. So it's really great.
So it really is a great jumpstart for anybody that's just kind of starting out. Whether you're a speaker, a coach, or an entrepreneur, but if you're looking to get that marketing edge and that branding edge, and let's face it, if you don't have a good brand, you're going to suffer. A good brand shows up before you do, and people are going to decide whether they want to work with you or not because of your brand.
Exactly. And that falls right into their sales process. Used to be, you've got the 30-second opportunity to do the elevator speech. Well, guess what? You don't have 30 seconds anymore. 15 is the new 30, and people will decide if they want to buy something from you within 7 seconds. So you have about 3 to 4 seconds to really showcase why you're different and unique, and brand can go a long way with that.
Now, one more thing. Look at this. We have your magazine, Sophisticated Sales. How can people grab one of these puppies?
You can find everything by either just Googling my name, Delaine Blazek, or going over to the website soliscoaches.com. That's SOLIS. And everyone's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, that is the Latin word for to illuminate. So that was the idea of it when we started out.
Delaine, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Hey guys, if you like the show, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button below.